Hey guys, what's going on? So today I want to inform you about my life and how I ended up where I am currently today and why I'm such a heavy fitness endorser. Why do I always talk fitness? Excuse me. Why am I always so upbeat about it, and why do I want you to do it as well? Well, I'm going to preface and start with this. When I was 6 years old, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. It left me in a pretty dark, depressed place because I didn't know what was going to happen with all of that. Although my mom and my dad, they did a really good job of trying to keep everything nice and positive, so we kept moving on with it with a glimpse of hope that nothing would happen out of the whole situation. But, as you know, I'm telling you this story in relation to the fact that when I turned 10, she had passed away after her 4-year battle. So, I'm a 10-year-old kid. I'm emotionally wrecked. My whole entire body and my whole entire chemical makeup is now screwed up because I'm in a crazy amount of trauma from losing my mother, and I don't know what's going on. So in the midst of all this, I'm trying to keep happy, but at the same time, I'm a really tiny kid for my age. I'm really scrawny, really weak, and I'm in school, and all these people are, even though all this happened, a couple weeks goes by and it's right back to what it was. I'm being pushed away from people. I'm constantly harassed and made fun of. And all of these different things are happening, you know? And I didn't feel like that was fair. I was like, man, I hate God and I hate all of you because why do I get to lose this person in my life? And why do I get to be picked on? Why do I get to be looked at as an estranged person? Just because I have a different way of operating didn't mean that I was necessarily any better or worse than any of these people in school. But for some reason, all these things started to happen. So you skip forward a couple of years, I'm 13, just about going on 14, and we start to talk about moving. And this is kind of frightening because now I'm 14 years old, and that summer we moved to a different town with my dad, his girlfriend, because a couple of years have gone by, he started dating, he found the one that he thought was good. We moved with her and her 2 sons. Now we're in this different town. I lost the short amount of friends that I had and the connection that I had with my cousin, and I'm distraught. I don't know what's going on. I go on the bus in the beginning of that freshman year, and I'm like, shit, I'm really lonely, I'm really depressed, I don't know what to say. And I've discovered that there's a drug dealer living right next to my house. And I'm like, oh, cool. Started buying weed, started getting pot brownies, started getting high. Right before school, right on the bus with the pot brownies, started really going downhill from there. Then I discovered alcohol, discovered pills, because him and his buddies would go to an abandoned construction site up the road from where I am, and they'd go party and drink because there's nobody there, so there's nobody to tell them, you know, you can't do this. So they'd go there, and then they leave their remains because they'd get plastered and then walk off. As soon as they walked off, I'm walking back up. I'm trying to take anything that I can. I take like sheets of tabs of like Vicodin and all of these different drugs, and I'm taking bottles of alcohol. I'm down in the bottles of alcohol, stuffing those sheets of pills in my pockets, and I'm stumbling home. Now remind you, I'm only 14 years old right at this moment. It's terrible. I started really young, and I'm stumbling home. I'm always either drunk or high, whether it's off of pills or it's weed, and I can't seem to get a grip on my life. Everything started really going more and more downhill, and I started to need these things more and more and more. So I'm going through all of this, I'm thinking I'm cool, so I'm starting to wear all these stupid Rasta hats and these stupid Rasta neckbands and everything like that, and the bracelets and everything. I'm a complete wreck at this moment, and I'm reliant on these drugs and alcohol, and I'd boast it. I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm drinking, I'm smoking, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm so cool. But I didn't do it for that, and I would just say that to make myself feel better. Unlike most people, where they start doing these things with their friends as like a social kind of thing, I did this on my own. I would do it on my back deck when my dad and his girlfriend weren't there, and I would get stoned after school, or I would get stoned before school, and I would live my life like this. I'd go in my room, I'd pop some pills, I'd act like an idiot, I'd just lay around, start crying and kicking. I even used to get to the point where I had a wall right next to my bed, and I would punch and kick holes in it. And every time I made a big enough hole, I'd take a poster and I'd tape it right up there so my dad didn't know what was going on. And I did them at times where he couldn't see it, and whenever he came home, I'd make sure I locked myself in my room, I kept quiet, and I just sat there in depression. I just sat there. I was like, oh, I hate life. What am I gonna do? So I start making YouTube videos. I start trying to make comedy videos. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm a kid with no confidence, I'm a stoner, and I'm a kid that's starting to drink and I'm starting to use pills. And I'm like, maybe if I start making YouTube videos with this stuff in my system, I'll be pretty damn funny. Not the case. It ended up being really stupid, and people in school started harassing me even more for it. They used to make fun of me all the time. They'd be like, oh, I saw your video, dude. You look like an idiot. And they'd laugh. And I'm like, really? Like, I'm trying really hard right now to fit in with you guys, and you're pushing me away still. And I'm like, okay, cool. Smoke more, drink more, pop more. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm so mad. I kept making videos, and I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna share my love. Right? I'm just going to share my love. So I'd go on Twitter and I'd go on Facebook, and I can even to this day still see on my time hop, oh, peace and love, bro. Everybody needs to be happy. Peace, love, and happiness. And that was a great motto, but I didn't have any of that internally. I was just putting it out there to see if anybody would push some of it back towards my way so I could feel better. So some time goes by. I'm still in that house, and I had gotten really, really drunk. And I'm just a kid, so I'm like 15 at this moment now, and I'm smashed and I'm crying. I'm just sporadically crying. I flung my door open, I knocked some shit over, and I'm screaming and crying. And I scared one of the kids that was living in the house with me. He ran inside of his room, and he was like, whoa, I don't know what the fuck to do right now. My dad had to come over there and kind of cradle me and fucking feed me water. Feed me water, because I'm not in and out. I'm constantly in and out of consciousness, and I don't know what's going on at this moment. All I know is that I'm really fucked up, I'm really depressed, and I'm really angry at the world. We go through all of that. He starts to find out that I'm doing these things, and he's really pissed. And he's like, Tyler, what are you doing? I don't get it. Look, just stop. You can't keep doing this. And as a kid, as an asshole kid that I was, I'm like, fuck you, dude. I'm doing it more. That's it. I don't care what just happened. So I start doing it more. And now we get to the point where things are getting out of hand in my household, and we ended up having to move again. So now I'm in a new town, and I'm a junior in high school. And now that I'm a junior in new high school, I'm an outcast again. I mean, I already was an outcast, but now I'm an outcast in a new place. And I did not like that feeling. So drinking and smoking became more of a ritual to me. I'm like, alright, gotta do it. I feel really uncomfortable right now. And when you feel uncomfortable, what do you gotta do? You gotta smoke and drink, because that's what you gotta do, right? No, that shouldn't have been the case, but it was. So I started doing this stuff, and I'm starting to really get more and more depressed. And I'm just like, fuck, I hate this. I'm wearing sweatpants and pajamas to school. I'm wearing flip-flops with socks in them. I'm doing all these crazy things to make a statement. Like, I don't give a fuck. That's what I was doing. I was putting that kind of persona out there, like, I don't give a fuck. This is it. I'm cool. I'm alone. I'm my own person, and I don't give a damn about you. So at this moment, I get to this new school. I'm not really making friends, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna cut out all of my comedy videos. I'd stripped all of those comedy videos down. And back in about freshman and sophomore year, I had one friend that really introduced me to loving some music, and I had a girlfriend at that time too that introduced me to music. So I started making music, and I didn't really do anything like it except for make me be able to vent. So now it's junior year, and I'm like, oh my god, what if I turn my old comedy channel into a music channel? So I got a shitty microphone for $100 that I saved for a long time because I spent all my money in the wrong ways on the weed and alcohol, and I would even use my lunch money too and save that to get these things because I was that desperate for it. I mean, I would go lunchless, and I would ask people, can I have the rest of your fries? Can I have the rest of that burger? Can I do this? They're like, yeah, sure, cool. They're just condoning my actions. Now, I get this microphone, I start recording things. They're shit. They're complete shit, I'll be honest. And I'm embarrassed to listen to them to this day, but it reminds me of where I've come from. So now I'm making music, and I'm trying to act all cool, so tough, I'm so rap, so hood. I'm just a kid in the suburbs making fucking rap music, and I am so ridiculous at this moment. So now, as junior year closes out, I got some videos up on my YouTube page, and I'm like, oh cool, some people are viewing them. I got one video that hit 13,000 views. I was like, awesome, that's awesome to me, I'm great. That summer, I started lifting, because that summer, right before I started lifting, or actually no, right as I started lifting, I'm starting to cut the weed and alcohol and everything out of my life. I'm starting to really try to put things together. Now, I go to a house party, and I get extremely blackout drunk. I mean, I had drank a half of a handle of vodka, and I've stolen all these other people's beers and mixed drinks and whatnot. So I'm out. I'm out cold. I smacked my face on the floor because every time I'd get picked up to be like woken up, I'd fall flat on my face because I'm straight up unconscious. And at that moment, I'd been rushed to the hospital, and I'm getting my stomach pumped. I'm getting all this treatment. I wake up. I feel worse than I've ever felt before. I have all these bruises on my face, all these cuts on my face. I have a huge headache. I had like the wristband and everything like that. I had the marks from the IV. And I'm just like, what is going on? And I hear my dad talking to my friend Jake's mom, because Jake, luckily, is a good enough friend to have brought me to my house and then bring me to the hospital. And I hear my dad and his mom talking, and she's asking if I'm alright. He's just pissed, and he's voicing his opinions on everything. And I'm just thinking at that moment, at that very particular moment, I'm like, I wish I was dead. Quite frankly, I fucked up. I pissed my friend off. I fucking made my dad really mad at me. I made him lose all my trust. I'm pissed. I'm done. I don't get it. Life is totally worthless. So here I am, sitting in a bed, all these cuts and bruises on my face, this whole entire thought, all these thoughts are going through my head, and I'm still drunk that morning. Even though I got pumped and everything, I'm still drunk. It's terrible. So I pass right back out. Now, from that point on, I still continued to smoke weed because I justified that smoking weed isn't what got me there, drinking was. So I cut the drinking, I cut the pills, I sticked with the weed. I was like, if I smoke weed, I'll be fine. I'm good. I get into my senior year, and Jake had been like, look man, you need to really start taking the lifting seriously. So at the beginning of senior year, at the end of that summer, I started ramping up and getting really into fitness. I started really picking the pace up. I started to really cut down on all the stuff I was doing, minimalized smoking, minimalized drinking, all of that. It's pretty much to a null point at this point. And I'm still really self-conscious, and now I feel off edge because I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm not popping any pills, and I'm like, I need something to make me feel fulfilled. I'm not seeing results. Jake's way bigger than me, and I fucking hate the way my body looks. So I just keep lifting, I keep going. We try all these different formats of lifting. We even got into CrossFit. I messed my shoulder up quite a bit because I didn't understand how to Olympic lift, and I'm just continuously going through it. So now I'm fighting through, I'm pushing through with it. As I'm cutting all these negative things like the alcohol and the drugs out of my life, I'm starting to get a regaining my appetite. So I'm starting to be able to eat more, because we always were stressed to the point you got to eat in order to gain the size. Especially for me, I'm a natural ectomorph, so I need to eat in order to gain size. So I'm like, all right, deal. I'm starting to eat more, I'm starting to lift more. I'm looking in the mirror after months and months, and I'm like, wow, I'm starting to shape up. I had gotten to 120 or 120 pounds, no, 120 to 125 pounds roughly within my first year. And that's after being about 100 to 105 pounds. So that was a pretty marginal distance for me to go over, because I'm like, wow, how the fuck did I do this? And I start to see less boniness and more of a solid compound. And I'm really loving the results. I'm walking with more confidence. I'm going in the classroom, and rather than looking at all the cute girls in my class and saying, oh man, they would never like me, I would be walking in there and I'm like, maybe I do have a chance one day, and that'd be awesome. So that summer comes, we really start ramping it up with the lifting. Start going pretty heavy into it, and as the summer closes up, I'm getting some progress. I'm 130 now. I'm like, oh my god, I'm starting to see progress. 135 hits the very end of the summer, and I'm pumped. I'm like, 135? Shit, this is awesome. So I go to college now, and I'm thinking I'm hot shit, right? So I'm ramping up my weight, and I'm getting bigger. And I go to college, I had to leave the gym that I was at with Jake, and I had to work out at another gym over with my friend Brandon. Now, I'm in a new environment now, and now I'm the teacher. And it's kind of weird, because I didn't know what to do to help him. We would just live together, and he'd complain about these things hurting him. And I'm like, oh, I've had that. Yo, try this, do that. And then I'm suddenly like, wow, I'm helping him, and he's actually getting something out of this. This is pretty remarkable. All right. So I keep going through it, and I start working at the YMCA. Now I'm at the YMCA doing after school, before school, and I'm also doing the summer program. And I'm starting to actually train and work out with one of my other coworkers, Ryan. Now, I'm showing him all these things that I had learned. I'm showing Brandon all these things that I had learned. And I'm talking to people about fitness. And I'm just like, wow, this feels great. Now I'm boosting up my weight. I'm getting bigger and better. By the end of that year, I'm sitting at roughly 145 to 150. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I'm like, how did I get here? Like, this is phenomenal. I'm starting to see some definition appearing everywhere, and it felt great. That school year closes out. I'm at 150 to 155. I felt awesome about myself, and through the whole summer, I kept working out, I kept eating big, I started posting about fitness, and I'm completely neglecting all the smoking and drinking associated with it in my life. And I'm starting to learn that I can appreciate myself. So that summer, I've started transitioning from working at the YMCA to a gym that I work at right now called Catalyst Health and Fitness. I had left the YMCA 2 weeks before I started at Catalyst to be full-time so that I could have a period of time where I didn't have to worry about anything, because I was doing both of them simultaneously together, and I was sick of it, and I was like, all right, quit it, all Catalyst. And so now I'm at a new gym and I'm pumped. I'm like 150 to 155. I feel like the smallest guy there, but I'm working the front desk, and I'm constantly influenced by all these new people that are preaching and living fitness. And I'm like, this is awesome. This is like what I needed, right? At this point, I'm completely done with the drinking, the drugs, all of that, right? I'm about I'm like 18 going on 19 years old, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. I turned 19 and I went into my sophomore year of college. And throughout my sophomore year of college, I'm really debating on whether I should even be there at this point, because I don't feel like I fit in with anybody. I don't see a purpose in any of it, and I'm starting to understand a grand purpose in my life. So while I'm going to college, and while I'm working at the YMCA, and while I was working at the YMCA, I was starting to read up and do NASM, right? So all of this stuff is compiling and building up, and now I become a certified personal trainer, and I felt amazing. I was like, whoa, I'm a certified personal trainer. This is phenomenal. So I dropped out of college. I'm like, I'm done. This is it. I'm a trainer now. And now, a year and some months later, I am right here. Now, the thing that I want you to get out of all of this is that we all come from our hard places. I mean, I've even lost friends and other family members that I haven't mentioned in this video. I've been through some shitty situations that I have not mentioned in this video because I don't want to drag it on too long. But the message that I want to get to you is this. I came from a kid that was overly skinny, overly low on confidence, and totally, utterly ignorant, right? I was a druggie, I was a stoner, and I was even an alcoholic. I mean, I went to therapy for this kind of stuff because my dad really saw, like, this is really messing up his life. He needs to change shit. And the grand message I want to give to you is this. No matter what you've gone through, no matter where you're going, I found that fitness had taught me lessons in my life that I would have never learned anywhere else. It taught me to keep pushing through things, no matter how hard, no matter how painful they were. You have to push through it in order to get to that next level. I learned a lot about my body and how to keep it in a better condition, how to keep it in a better alignment, and how to help people with the knowledge that I've learned. That's one thing that I've learned from fitness. When a lifter learns something, they're really anxious to go and show the next guy what they're doing. But if you have like a business owner in corporate world, or you have a leader in the corporate world, they're learning stuff, and then I'm going to captivate it, I'm going to hold it, I'm going to keep it, I'm not going to show you, because I have something that you don't have. But in the fitness industry, it taught me what you learn, you reciprocate, and you give back to these people. And I started really loving the sensation of training people. I loved the sensation of just working out, getting bigger, getting better, getting more mobile, getting more endurance-based, getting even more powerful, right? The point I'm getting at is I've done a lot of shit even at a young age. But I've learned from all this corruption at the beginning of my life that you need to rely on yourself. And you need to work on yourself and take care of yourself. So my message through all of this is this. Be happy with who you are. Go work out, whether you're pushing weights, you're doing cardio, whatever it is. Obviously I have some stuff that I would prefer you to do, but do something to get your body physical. To start feeling those endorphins and the dopamine exploding through your body and your mind. Because that is what saved me. I was in a depressive state and I was in a weak state. And I've gotten myself to where I am today. And I can honestly, humbly accept myself and say, I love myself with every single ounce of my flesh and my blood. And I can say that I'm going to help the world. I'm going to change the world, and I found my purpose. So that's my mission for you guys. I'm going to help you with every way that I can to help you find your purpose, to help you feel better, and to know the real truth behind everything in fitness. Because if I didn't find these little things by constantly devoting my time to fitness and constantly improving myself, I wouldn't be here today, and I wouldn't be happy either. So I want to tell you guys to make yourself better, start working out. It might change your life like beyond all measures that you could have ever imagined. So that's all, my friends. Take it easy.